Amidst this period where Collingwood have successfully acquired players to fulfil the running halfback role / midfield in Houston and Perryman, and potentially acquiring someone like Tim Membry, we are also looking to hedge our bets in the way of finding key tall forward prospects in the draft, the national draft that is. I've already spoken about Thomas Sims, Charlie Nichols, and Gabriel Stumpy. But Collingwood had a player on their list, drafted in 2020, who is currently 6'6" and plying his trade in a rival VFL side. His name's Liam McMahon. Okay, he was taken at pick 31 in the 2020 draft, where in his top age year wasn't able to play due to COVID. He was drafted along with players like Finn McRae, McCreery, McInnes, Oliver Henry, right? And still has a strong relationship with these players, as he's stated in an article with the Herald Sun. Now, 6'6", didn't have much of an opportunity at Collingwood and was asked to play different roles, whether it be in the forward line or the back line. And ultimately, when Fly McRae came in, decided to delist McMahon at the end of 2022, citing that they were looking to bring in more maturity and experience because they didn't realise how close they were to winning a flag. And lo and behold, in 2023, we go and win the flag. So McRae wasn't wrong in the exit meeting with McMahon. He brought in players like Dan McStay, Frampton, Oscar Steen, who's a similar height, Markov, who played a third, maybe a fourth key tall defender side. Anyways, Markov was able to intercept the ball quite well and defend very well. So we brought in these mature players along with Tom Mitchell. So there just wasn't enough list space at the time. McMahon, fast forward to his season in 2024 with the Carlton VFL side. He earns the best and fairest at the Carlton VFL. Let me say that again. He earned the best and fairest for the Carlton side this year after kicking 45 goals in 16 games at a really good clip, 70% scoring accuracy, which is well above AFL average. Of course, this is not AFL at the end of the day, but it's still worth, noting what he's able to achieve with his goal-kicking return at VFL level. His highlight game was against the Cats, kicking 7 straight late in the year, and Geelong were a really good VFL side. I believe they actually they were in the final series, weren't they? Let's just find out. So Geelong were a top 4 side and McMahon was able to put 7 straight on them. So he's really developed his game. He's served 4 years at a senior level, 2 at AFL level while not playing any AFL games, and then 2 years further playing for Carlton in their VFL side. And I'm just, what do you say? I mean, Collingwood went ahead and won the flag in 2023. Do we revisit this idea of reintroducing McMahon to Collingwood if we have the list availability come the time that we're in the pre-season supplementary period where he could potentially train with Collingwood and earn an opportunity? There's already pre-established relationships out there, as I already mentioned, McRae, McCreery, McInnes, and it's a familiar environment around the same type of players that were there back in 2022 before he was delisted, right? The philosophical question is, would McMahon be willing to go back to a club that only delisted him 2 years ago? Does he take that personal and go elsewhere? Does he try and knock on the doors of the Carlton AFL side? These are the things only he would know internally, and we'd probably find out in the next couple of months if, depending on what we do with the draft, how many key tools we actually go for with those 3 picks in the 50s, suspect and maybe a little less optimistic as to how many of these key forwards will slide to the picks in the 50s. Maybe one of our picks ends up being in the mid-40s after academy bids and father-sons. Do we get Tomlinson and Membry? Do we get another player delisted free agency? These things all have to take place before we truly can ponder about the potential of Liam McMahon returning to Collingwood. So we'll see in due time. But to be kicking 45 goals in 16 games in a Carlton side that didn't make finals, or at least, where were they on the line? Let's see. They finished 19th on the ladder. So it's a pretty good return if you ask me. And he's confident to swing back and play a key size defender role at times, and did that for the Carlton VFL side at times. So it's time to revisit Liam McMahon, I think. And with our limited draft hand and limited youthful options in delisted free agency, I'd be shocked if Collingwood's list management wasn't looking at someone like Liam McMahon in the coming months. Do you guys know much about Liam McMahon? If you do, let me know in the comment section. Would you entertain the idea of bringing Liam McMahon to train with the club once again? And yeah, let me know. Go Pies.